Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to another episode of Cycling Insider. Recently, I got an interesting question, and it was about should you buy a Trek Domane or a Trek Checkpoint. So I've decided to talk about it in this episode, and at the end of this episode, I will give you my opinion which bike you should buy. So we will be speaking about 2022 Trek Domane SL5 versus 2022 Trek Checkpoint SL5. So first thing first, let's answer the question, who is this bike for? So when you look at the Trek Domane platform, this is all about endurance road bike. So long days in the saddle, a bit more relaxed geometry, and very famous, Trek ISO speed decoupler, both front and the back. On the other hand, when you look at the Trek Checkpoint range, this bike is all about a gravel road bike. So again, it is a bit more relaxed endurance geometry, but primarily designed for also going a bit of off-roading, but a simple off-roading, nothing too demanding. If you have a bit of more, demanding gravel riding or off-roading, you would definitely use a cross-country mountain bike. So these are the two major differences when it comes to the platform, so Trek Domane versus Trek Checkpoint. Currently, as we are speaking about Domane SL5, retail price is $3,230, and also for the Checkpoint SL5, it's the same retail price of $3,230. Now, when we talk about the paint scheme on these bikes, so on the Domane SL5, you have three paint schemes to choose from. There's a very classical satin black with a hint of gold. Then you have this beautiful kind of metallic red with a hint of blue, and also a beautiful so-called quicksilver with a hint of white. So it's very nice that Trek can offer three paint schemes on this Domane SL5. On the other hand, Checkpoint SL5 comes with only two paint schemes to choose from. One is again this classical black, or as they would call it, satin carbon smoke, and another one is beautiful, in my opinion, red with a hint of yellow and black. So with the Checkpoint SL5, there's less paint schemes to choose from, but at least you have paint schemes to choose from. So when it comes to the retail price and the paint schemes, technically I wouldn't say there's any big difference between these two bikes. So now let's dive into the technical specifications, and I will give you basically my framework how to think about these two bikes, and as I say at the end, I will give you my verdict which of these you should buy. So if we speak about we can kick off, classically with the frame and the fork on these bikes. So let's kick off with the Domane SL5. So you are getting a 500 series OCLV carbon fiber frame from Trek. This frame also comes with the front and the rear ISO speed from Trek. It's a beautiful solution, patented solution from Trek, where basically it will soak up so much of the road bumps because your seat tube moves totally independently of the top tube and the seat stays, and also in the front you have a Trek's ISO speed. So this is a truly smooth bike ride on the Trek Domane. Also, this carbon fiber frame on the Domane has an internal storage on the down tube. It comes with the flat mount disc brakes front and the back, and also 12mm through axles. I forgot to mention here that it is a part internal cable routing, and also you have fender mounts both front and the back. Fork on this frame is also a carbon fiber fork, so-called Domane SL Carbon, with the tapered carbon steerer, flat mount disc brakes, 12mm through axles. Now briefly, when we jump to the Checkpoint SL5, let's see the carbon fiber frame and the fork on this bike. So again, you have the same 500 series OCLV carbon, but this time there is only an ISO speed decoupler on the back, so you don't have the one at the front. So this is a huge difference between these two frames. Also, the Checkpoint SL5 comes with the internal cable routing, the storage on the down tube. It has a T47 threaded bottom bracket, so both bottom bracket standards are the same on Domane and Checkpoint. And also you have the mounts for the fenders, and also different mounts for your bags, and you have a flat mount disc brakes and 12mm through axles. Looking at this specification, I don't know if there's some error currently on the Trek's website. They forgot to mention about the carbon fiber fork on this Trek Checkpoint, but is the same similar level of the carbon fiber fork. So when you look at the frame and the fork between these two bikes, there's not much in it. So the key difference, I would say for me, would be this Trek's ISO speed decoupler, because on the Domane SL5 you are getting both front and the rear ISO speed decoupler, but on the Checkpoint they have only stuck with the rear ISO speed decoupler. Also, both carbon fiber frames and fork will come with the Trek's lifetime warranty, so you definitely shouldn't have any problems with that. Now let's talk about the wheel sets on these bikes. And we can start with the Trek Domane one. So on this Domane SL5 you are getting a very simple aluminum wheel set from Bontrager with 12mm through axles, so aluminum rims. Also the hubs are the sealed cartridge bearing hubs from Bontrager. Nothing special here, and as I see at the back you would have a Shimano's 11-speed free hub. Pretty classical wheel set, and I would expect the weight of this wheel set to be around 2 kilograms. On the Trek Domane, this wheel set is wrapped in the Bontrager R3 tire, so this is a 32mm tire, which is very nice. A lot of air volume and smooth ride, and this is going to be 120 TPI tire, so very supple tire. Tire is tubeless ready, and you will also have a tubeless sealant delivered with the bike, and also the rim strip, so this is very nice addition with this Trek Domane. If you are planning to upgrade your tires on the Trek Domane, you can go all the way to the 38mm tires, which is very nice. Now when you look at the Trek Checkpoint, it comes with the same Bontrager aluminum wheels, so front and the back, aluminum rims, sealed cartridge bearings, 12mm through axles, everything absolutely the same. So the same kind of weight of the wheel set, approximately 2 kilograms. The only main difference is that now the tires are the Bontrager GR1 tire. 120 TPI, so supple tire, and this tire now of course is 40mm tires, tubeless ready. You will again have a tubeless Bontrager sealant and also the rim strip, so everything is superb. And on the Checkpoint you can move all the way to 45mm tires, so it definitely gives you a bit more options. So now when you think about it, again the biggest difference is this tire width. When you go with the Domane, the maximum tire you can fit is 38mm, which again has superb air volume inside and smooth ride. But if you really want to go gravel riding, on this Checkpoint you can go all the way to 45mm tires. Now let's talk about the whole drivetrain on these two bikes. On the Domane SL5 you are getting a full Shimano 105 mechanical group set. It's an excellent group set, a proper workhorse from Shimano. So shifters, front mech, rear mech, everything is Shimano 105 R7000 series. Crankset also Shimano 105. This is a 50-34 chainrings at the front with Shimano 105 cassette at the back, and this is 11-34. Very nice range, 11-34 cassette and 50-34 chainrings. As I said, it comes with the Praxis T47 threaded bottom bracket. Superbly fine, no complaints here. And also on this Trek Domane, the chain is also the Shimano's HG601 or the Shimano 105 level chain. So they have really put whole Shimano 105 group set, in my opinion, perfectly fine, a proper workhorse, mechanical group set. When you look at the Checkpoint, they have of course used the Shimano's GRX group set. So this is a dedicated group set for gravel, and you have a combination of shifters which are GRX 600, and then you move to the front mech and the rear mech where they have moved to a little bit more upgraded version, which is the GRX 810. When it comes to the crankset, it's again the GRX 600 series 4630 chainrings, and it is paired, funnily enough, with the Shimano 105 cassette, so the same cassette 1134 cassette, and the same chain, Shimano 105 level chain, 11-speed chain. So again, this GRX is a mechanical 11-speed group set, but more kind of robust, more dedicated to gravel, and you see it immediately on the front chainring, which is here 4630, but again the cassette is the same 1134 cassette. So this is now again up to you, a GRX group set a bit more dedicated to gravel riding, and that's why the chainrings at the front are a bit smaller. But make no mistake, you can run here chainrings on this checkpoint all the way to 5037 if you really want. Now let's talk about some smaller components like the saddle and the seat post, and also handlebars and the stem. So when it comes to Trek Domane SL5, you are getting a Bontrager P3 saddle, and it is paired with the Bontrager carbon internal seat mast cap. So this P3 saddle, I'm expecting it's going to be decent enough, but if you really don't like it, easy to replace. And this seat post, which is carbon internal seat mast cap, just keep a little bit kind of a mind in that, because this is a bit of, I would say, a proprietary piece of Trek. I don't know exactly what's the diameter of this internal seat mast cap, so maybe in the future you will have to buy, if you really want another one or this one breaks, maybe you need to really buy it from the Bontrager. On the other hand, when you look at the Trek checkpoint, the saddle again the same Bontrager P3 verse, but the seat post now is a classical Bontrager carbon 27.2mm seat post. There is no, internal seat mast cap, which is just a better solution in my opinion. Now let's talk about handlebars and the stem. So on the Domane, you are getting a pretty classical Bontrager Comp aluminium handlebars, and also the stem is the Bontrager Elite aluminium stem. Perfectly fine pieces, no problem that they are aluminium, and the good thing is that they are separate pieces, nothing is proprietary, it's very easy to replace in the future, and very easy to adjust your position on the bike. Now let's look at the checkpoint. So on the checkpoint, the handlebar is the Bontrager Elite gravel aluminum handlebar, and the stem is the Bontrager Elite aluminum stem. So the same story here. Aluminum pieces, absolutely superb. No proprietary pieces, they are separate pieces, easy to replace, easy to set up your position on the bike. When we talk about the braking system, on the Trek Domane you are getting a Shimano 105 hydraulic disc brakes with the RT70 braking rotors, and these rotors are 160mm both front and the back. Everything perfectly fine, no special complaints. On the checkpoint bike you will get the Shimano's RX 400 hydraulic disc brakes, again just because this is a dedicated gravel group set, and the shifters are also GRX 400, and the brake rotors are here the same, RT70, 160mm both front and the back. Personally, I don't think there's going to be any noticeable difference between Shimano's hydraulic disc brakes on the 105 level or the Shimano hydraulic disc brakes on the GRX 400 level, since again you have the same braking rotors, pads, and the same size of the rotors. Maybe in the future, if you are replacing these braking rotors, you might think about buying yourself a Shimano Ultegra level braking rotors just because of the better heat dissipation. And now we can talk about the total bike weight. So for the Trek checkpoint in size 56, you will have approximately 9.7 kilograms. On the Trek Domane, in the same size, 56, is going to be a bit lighter, 9.2 kilograms. So there is approximately half a kilo difference. But again, keep in mind that checkpoint was designed originally as a proper gravel bike, so it has to be a bit more robust and a bit more heavier just because of all the components that it's using. So now, in a summary, what would be my advice to you? Which one of these bikes should you choose, since the retail price is totally the same, $3,230 US. So personally, I would go still with the Trek Domane SL5, and the main reasons being that you will get a front and rear track ISO-speed decoupler, so in my opinion still a much more smoother bike ride than on the track checkpoint. And also, if you really want to go a bit gravel, bike riding, you can fit 38mm tires on this track Domane. So this is my personal opinion. Please do let me know your opinion in the comments below. So I think this is gonna be it for today, a bit different episode than usually, so I hope you like it, and if you do, please do, give a like for this episode, and as always, I will see you soon in the next episode. Cheers!